When I gave birth to our triplets in the hospital, my husband became furious and abandoned us. 12 years later, he showed up at our door, so I let him see what he missed. We'd only been married 2 weeks when I found out I was pregnant. John was over the moon. He went to every ultrasound, painted the nursery blue because we were having a boy. He spent hours assembling this expensive crib while I watched, feeling grateful I'd married someone who wanted to be a dad at 28 weeks. I was at my baby shower with 15 friends. I just unwrapped a onesie when the first contraction hit. It felt like someone squeezing my insides with both hands. My friend Helen saw my face go pale. "Mary, what's wrong?" "I think something's happening," I said before another wave hit. Helen got me in her car, called John, and drove straight to the hospital. The nurses rushed me into a room. The doctor confirmed I was in active labor way too early, but it was happening. John burst through the doors 10 minutes later, terrified. He grabbed my hand as the contractions got worse. The doctor said, "Okay, one more push." I pushed with everything I had. Then a baby crying. "It's a girl," the doctor announced, holding up this tiny infant. John's hand went limp. His face drained of color. "What? That's impossible." The ultrasound showed a boy multiple times. Before either of us could process it, the doctor's expression changed. "Wait, there's another one." "Another what?" John asked, voice rising. "Another baby." "Push again, Mary." I pushed. Another cry filled the room. "It's a boy." I started crying 2 babies. How did we not know? The doctor was staring at the monitor with intense focus. "Mary, I need you to push one more time." "There's a third baby." "What?" John shouted. 30 seconds later, another baby was crying in the delivery room. "Triplets," the doctor said calmly. 2 boys and a girl, small, premature, but breathing on their own. All 3 were taken to the NICU. I was wheeled to recovery, barely conscious. John followed the nurses, but didn't come back to my room. Hours later, he appeared in the doorway. His face was gray, expressionless. "John," I reached out my hand. He stayed where he was. "How did this happen?" "I don't know. I'm as shocked as you. This wasn't the plan, Mary. We planned for 1 baby. I know, but I can't do this." His voice was flat, emotionless. "Can't do what?" "3 kids. I didn't sign up for 3. My heart stopped." "John, they're your children. Anytime." He turned and walked out. I stayed in the hospital 5 days. John came once. He asked my doctor how ultrasounds can miss 2 babies. She explained sometimes they hide behind each other. A 1 in a million pregnancy. He didn't hear the miracle, only the burden. When the babies were cleared to go home, I called. "We're ready. Can you pick us up?" Long pause. "Mary, I can't do this. I'm leaving." I packed a bag. "I can't handle this." He hung up. Helen drove me and the triplets home. John's closet was empty. His wedding ring sat on the kitchen counter. No goodbye. I named them James, Anna, and Charles. I raised them alone with help from my parents and Helen. It was hard, so hard. But we made it work. Last month, someone knocked on my door. I opened it, and there he was, 12 years older, graying at the temples, looking nervous. "Mary, hi. I know I messed up. I was young and scared. I made the worst mistake of my life. I want to meet them, my kids. I want to try to be their father. Be their father." I stepped aside so he could see into the house. 3 12-year-olds sat at the kitchen table doing homework. James was helping Anna with math. Charles was reading a book, completely focused. They looked up when they heard voices, saw the stranger in the doorway with mild curiosity, then went back to their work. They didn't recognize him. They didn't need him. "They have a father," I said quietly. "Helen's husband, Mike, he taught James to play baseball. He walked Anna through her first heartbreak last year. He helped Charles build a robot for his science fair project. They call him Dad. He's been there for every single moment you weren't." John's eyes filled with tears. "Mary, please, I want another chance. I've changed. You left when they were 5 days old. You walked away when they needed you most. You don't get to come back now that the hard part's over. You don't get to skip to the good part. I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to buy milk. You abandoned your newborn children. There's a difference." I closed the door firmly. Through the window, I watched him stand there for a whole minute, shoulders shaking before finally walking back to his car. Inside, Charles looked up from his book. "Who was that, Mom?" "Nobody important, sweetheart. Nobody important at all." James didn't even look up from Anna's math homework. They went back to their evening like nothing happened, because to them, nothing had. Exactly where they belonged.